So I live in the Carolinas. Hurricane Florence bearing down on us. And just like, Florida or anything, Tejas or Georgia or Atlanta or, Atlanta, Georgia or Louisiana, all those Gulf areas, even Mexico, it's always a threat because hurricanes can form there. But, when it comes to North and South Carolina, honestly, South Carolina gets hit way more. They're almost like the shield of North Carolina when it comes to hurricanes and tropical storms or depressions. Now, when it comes to what's going on now, we got Hurricane Florence. It's currently, I still think, a Category 4 looming on the Category 5 as the millibars, the central pressure of the storm, slowly lowers. So that shows intensifying. And storms tend to do this the closer they get to the coast. Shallower waters are usually warmer waters, so they're going to get a little boost before hitting landfall. And usually what will happen is upon landfall, it starts to break up. It loses a lot of power the first, I would say 6 or so hours on land. It loses a ton of power. However, this storm has good defense. It's small. It's not a large hurricane. It's not. In general, a hurricane, including outflow cloud protection, can get up to 2/3 of the United States. That's how large it can be. They usually stay out to sea, and they're extremely rare. Florence is rare for it's coming right at the North Carolina and South Carolina. Both are going to get hit. It's not about the eye wall. The eye wall is bad, yes. Everything else is just as bad. The storm is powerful and protected by outflow winds, which pushes all of the high pressures away, meaning it's protected and it's going to come right through. Now, I got an email. I would say it's a notification mail, not spam. It's from TYT. And I was going to just go ahead and click delete like I normally do. And I read Trump diverts $10 million from FEMA to ICE as hurricane looms. So I read about it. Immediately it says the massive Hurricane Florence is not massive, is bearing down on the Carolinas as news breaks that Trump administration seems to have moved $9.8 million to United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Now, here one thing, I'm going to say this quick. I get sick and tired of reporters and journalists and whatnot saying seems. I know they're protecting part of their integrity when they say it seems or it looks like or from what sources say, because it takes away their accountability. It takes away their responsibility to be as factual as possible. That's why I don't like that. What you need to do is say what it is, because that's how people take it. You can say what it seems. You can say what it looks like. You can say all those little things, but what people take in is that's what it is. And they will hold you accountable for what you're trying to cover yourself as. So stop saying seems and all that stuff. We get it. Now, on to Trump and stuff. I'm going to say this, and a lot of conservatives are going to be annoyed by this. So please send this to a conservative. Send this to a Trump supporter. Send this to a Republican. Send this to anybody. But when you take what happened with Hurricane Katrina, how Bush wasn't sending any help, any aid, or anything like that, because, black people were in trouble. Predominantly, there were white people in trouble, yes. But, hey, you got to crack some eggs to make an omelet. And when you have what happened with, I think it was Hurricane Maria with Puerto Rico, what help did they get other than, let me throw some paper towels at you? Well, not throw them at you, but, jump shot them into the crowd. Oh, look at me. They love me. Look at me. They love me. Me. That's what Trump was doing. And turned away every kind of construction work possible. And because they didn't do any work, more people died after the storm than during. And I mean way more. it seems like when minorities are in need, this administration is not really around. And when I say administration, I mean Republican administration in general. And right now, with Florence on the way, what's happening? They've already diverted money. Now, they could say, oh, that was for something else. Yeah, hurting brown people. That's pretty much it. The Carolinas is a hodgepodge, but it's predominantly Caucasian, just like any other place in the United States. The Carolinas voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. So you Republicans, you conservatives, you libertarians, anything that's all about the corporations and the supposed free market that you think is free, but it's not, it's just more corporate control over you. This is what your vote did. It got somebody in that said, hey, we got a hurricane that's probably going to kill hundreds of people, knock out all levels of power and whatnot, but let's take money and divert it from organization that barely does its job as it is and divert it to a organization that's not needed but does its job way too well, to the point of rape. That's what your tax money is doing. That's what your vote is doing. And actually, no, it's worse. That's what it has done. This is not going to be a good time. Right now, from what we understand, there are other states sending in help for when the power go out. And they might shut down the grid to protect it from lightning strikes, since hurricanes have far more lightning strikes than any casual storm, it seems. It seems, right? So what people need to do, this right now is going to be a little bit of pre-safety tip, okay? So after the storm is going to be bad, and I hope everybody is safe. I hope that it loses enough power that minimum damage, some down trees, no down power lines. Let's keep our power. Let's hope for just it's scary, but we get through it. Let's hope for that. I always hope for that when hurricanes get near somebody, because that's scary in general. And this has never happened in North Carolina. It's just never happened. This is a first. So this is history for us that we know of, modern age. And when you go out, look for down power lines. Stay away from them. Don't try to move them. Don't try. Drive around them. If the lights are out or they're blinking and you're on the highway or something, you have to go to work because your job just says we don't care about your life. Just get here. When you get to intersections, slow down. When you get to highway intersections, slow down. Because if the lights are out or blinking, someone might come across that. And if you're going at 50 or 60 because, that's what you want to do, you're going to cause death. It's not going to be an accident. It's going to be death. Slow down. Take your time. Your life is a little bit too valuable, isn't it? When you come across water and it seems like there might be, because it's going to flood in places. It's going to flood. So even if it's clear and you can see the bottom, you can see to the bottom of the street, that doesn't mean it's not deep. Your car can cut off. It can be swept away easily. I've seen it done in less situations. And that's these people with four-wheel drive thinking I can just get through it. And they realize the water really came up halfway up the truck, not just a little bit on the tires. Water can be deceiving. Keep that in mind. And also, the roads will still be, it's tropically wet. It's going to be a little slicker than normal. Not much, but a little slicker. Hydroplaning most likely will happen on vehicles that normally will evade hydroplaning, which today's standard should be all vehicles. So please be safe. Be slow. Get to where you got to go. And when you check on someone, adhere to these things. Don't drive like it's all right. Just be careful, be safe, be vigilant. Look at your surroundings. Don't touch any down power lines. Even if you don't hear crackling, just leave them alone. That's all I got to say. This is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.